Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jaylee. This is JLeesCorner. This is my review for Married to Medicine, Season 8, Episode 13 that came on today. I would not be on camera. I did all my reviews today off camera just to give myself time to also be like on vacation because I don't have to be on for the camera and whatnot. We're going to have a good time nonetheless, okay? Do not forget to subscribe to my channel to become a whole JayBird, dun 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 dun, and all that goodness and stuff. Do not forget to also like this video, please, and thank you either on your way in or on your way out. It is greatly appreciated. You can also comment in the comment section and also share it on your social media by hitting the little share button and then share it like the Twitter or your Facebook. You can also relax, okay? Relax, relate, release, center yourself and everyone around you. Also, remember to inhale, okay, and exhale because it helps keep you calm, cool, and collected, okay? Do not forget to also follow me on social media on Twitter and IG at J_Lees_Corner. The link is always in the description box below. It's also on the screen right there. Okay, you see it? Go ahead and follow me. So this episode was aggravating because I wanted to kind of, go off on Lisa Nicole, go off on Toya. Was it just into Scott was a bit stupid too, so let's get into what happened. So we had the guys, okay? We had Scott, Cecil, and Eugene all meeting up at Cecil and Simone's house to have a little guys' day down in their little bar or whatever to talk about things and whatnot. They bring up how they're surprised, for one, that Contessa and Toya are back being friends, or at least in a better space being friendly. I feel like because Toya don't have nobody else to talk to. Okay, she beefed out with everyone else. So all I have left to do is talk to Contessa and whatnot. Okay, but Eugene brings up, well, as long as somebody says sorry, you were right, I was wrong. Toya will usually move on from stuff. Okay, that's what she needs to feel like she was the one that was right. She has to feel like I was the one done wrong. And as long as somebody sorry, I had to sneeze. As long as somebody tells her that, she's fine, fine, fine. Now Scott then brings up how he introduced, or not introduced, he interviewed, I think he's an esthetician for their practice or whatever, but he does not think that Contessa will hire her because she's too pretty. I was like, Lord Jesus, the fact that he is thinking and saying that is the crazy part within itself. I was like, Scott, so that means you think she's pretty. You think she's not handsome, but she's attractive or whatever. He then goes on to show the guys the picture in his phone of the girl. Okay, I'm like, why do you have a photo of this pretty woman in your phone that you feel like she's too pretty to hire per your wife? Now, the photo we seen, it looks like the girl was giving him a facial, probably showing him her work, and he took a photo of his face, but she's in the photo as well. It was like a photo of her. He was in the photo with a little face mask on or whatever, and I was like, boy, boy, boy. So to me, that was a slick little way to get a photo of her to show people how pretty she was and whatnot. And Cecil then said, oh, well, if you got a picture from your phone, I wouldn't hire either if I was your wife. I was like, Cecil, let him know. Cecil know how not to be in the hot seat, okay? It seems he's learned his lesson, okay? You can't have a hot chick's picture in your phone. Scott, don't do that. Scott say he feel as if Contessa had first interviewed the girl, if she met her first, that she probably would have hired her. However, him suggesting the girl be hired, she won't sit well with that. Ain't that illegal? I don't think you can legally not hire somebody because they too pretty to fuck your husband. I'm like, don't be admitting on y'all gonna be going to jail for fraud, not fraud, but for discrimination or whatever. Anyway, Scott kind of brings up how, he and Contessa aren't doing that well or whatever, that he doesn't want to go to counseling or whatever. He's like, no, they ask him if they went to counseling. That's when they asked him first. He says, well, no, not yet or whatever. Feels like he's the old man who don't like change, who does not want to do different things. I'm like, Scott, if you know that, then you should know that you're the problem, my son. You should know that Scott, where you at? Scott, wait, where you at? Why won't it click? Why is my computer not working? There you go. Sorry, y'all. But I'm like, why is it not? Okay. So, Scott, You have to know that if you know that you don't like changing and your marriage is in trouble, you could be part of the problem, my son. Go to counseling. Go see a therapist. Cecil then tells somehow, you really should want to give her what she wants because it would make you look better in the long run. Therapy changed my life. Okay. You need to fix that shit. Cecil is a voice of reason here because he knows what he preaches, okay? Because again, he and Simone damn near divorced. Anyway, next on up, we see Jackie and Simone. Jackie and Simone meet up for lunch to chit chat. Now, Heavenly was on her YouTube page and she brought up how Jackie and Simone ain't really friends or whatever. They just being cordial for the show. I think that's fine. I don't think that Jackie and Simone are back to where they used to be. I don't think they want people to believe they're back to where they used to be. I think their thing is they're no longer ignoring each other. They're no longer not speaking to each other. They are able to be adults, to talk, to coexist, and still hang out. It may not ever get back to how it used to be before, but they are still in a better place than they were when they were not talking. So I'm like, that's fine for me. But Simone brings up how, she had talked to Lisa Nicole, just mentioned in passing while they were on the trip, I think in Washington, in DC, that she wanted to do a town hall meeting, get some people together to encourage people to vote. Because this happened, of course, this was like in September, October of last year. So before the elections in November, and so Simone was telling her how she wanted to just again have a town hall meeting, get the people around or whatever to encourage people to vote. But she mentioned it to Lisa Nicole in passing. Well, Lisa Nicole has took that baton, ran with it, built a house, built a bridge, built a building or whatever, and now she has a whole town hall meeting planned. Okay, Jackie said, "Oh, you don't say." Okay, we thought Heavenly, them years ago when she was fussing about Lisa Nicole, we thought she was lying. We now see that what she said made sense. So, like 4 or 5 seasons ago, whatever, Lisa Nicole and Heavenly were supposed to be working on an event together, and Lisa Nicole made it seem as if they were never partnered together, whatever, even though they talked about stuff, she made it seem as if it was still her event, not her and Heavenly. So in this instance, where Simone feel like I mentioned something to her, and now she has just taken that idea and ran with it as if it's hers, even had went out here and sent letters or whatever. So again, we're gonna see how that is going to implode, okay? But again, Lisa Nicole sometimes be moving foul. Anyway, we do see a little scene of Heavenly with her son at their house. So at their house, we seen them do. I'm looking for one last picture. It was a house they went to look at last season, and not last season, a couple episodes ago, and the house was like $300,000, something like that. It was expensive. No, it was for over $400,000. Well, they bought the house. Okay, they bought it for $435,000, and they're going to rent it out as an Airbnb because the house is huge and it's off the lake or whatnot. It was a smart purchase. It was very, very smart to do that to make money. So her son chit and chat about it or whatnot. They, kind of upgraded some things, like, painted some walls, added some furniture, whatever. And he said, my son, he's not a decorator. No, that's not his forte. Gonna get somebody else to do that. The house did seem like a bachelor pad. Like I got some regular couches, a little bed that ain't made up, any kind of little painting or whatever. Yeah, she gonna need a little bit more to charge what you want to charge. So he then say, well, yeah, we can probably rent it out for like $400 a day, which brought it up to about 12 grand a month. However, Heavenly brings up how the mortgage is 18,000 a month, so we have to charge enough for it to cover the mortgage again. But the house is so huge. Truthfully, I would say to rent it out for more than that because it's a huge house on the lake. Okay, that's smart. Anyway, but she just told him how you have to want to do this, to do that, to do this, to do that. Give them great, great advice. I can't think what she said word by word, but again, he was appreciative that he's like, Mom, you're a great mom. I'm saying you teach us so many things and whatnot. It's funny how much this son looks and sounds like Damon. talks like Damon. I'm looking like, wow. To me, that means they're active in their boy life because he speaks just like his father. I was like, wow, kind of weird. Anyway, she tells him how family is very, very important. And she's happy that he appreciates the thing that she's doing for him because she brings up how, she wants to do things for her kids. Her daughter doing a little hair salon or no, the beauty supply store. The son is doing real estate. One other son is doing the dentist stuff. So again, she's making sure that they each, will be able to be successful in one way or the other in life. I'm like, great, great, great. She also tells him he should find a woman like his mama. I'm like, I don't think nobody won't that. Anyway, we see Contessa who's going to therapy for herself. Even if Scott does not want to go, she still wants to do it because it can make her better for herself. That's smart. Contessa, that is very, very smart. And that's therapist AT. Now, she brings up how she wants clarity, peace, and understanding, within her going to counseling. And she brings up her mom died when she was young. Her mom had cancer. Her father was on drugs or whatever. So this is when she was a kid. And so her and her siblings were the ones who were the caregiver or caretaker for her mom while her mom was dying of cancer because her dad again was on drugs. So she said she always felt like as a kid she could not depend on other people. And even now in her adult life, she still feels as if she could not depend on other people. Because again, as a child, if you can depend on the adults around you to take care of you and not only you, of your mom, you do have this whole self-reliant thing on yourself to where I have to do it all. Okay. And so the counselor lady asked her, is there a place in your life where you feel you may have messed up? And she said, well, yeah, I think in my marriage, because again, right now we've been struggling. And, she asked her, do you trust your husband with your heart? And she just kind of paused and didn't answer. And the therapist said, well, that means no. No, if you can't say yes, it means no. And then Contessa brings up how, how can I trust someone who told me they were done with me? She brings up how when she wanted to leave to go to school, that's what Scott said to her at one point within the argument of her saying she'll leave it anyway. And I feel like for her to say, how can you trust someone who told you they were done with you, then why are you still married? If you don't trust your husband, why are you married? I'm just inquiring minds want to know what's going on, Contessa, or whatever. Okay. So she then say how, she asked her, like, what did you repeat to your husband over and over again? Contessa then say, I don't think he listens to me, so it's like I don't have a voice. I'm like, well, that wasn't her question, because again, what do you say and repeat? She didn't answer that, but again, her whole point of he don't listen to me, I don't have a voice. And I was like, girl, fine. The therapist then said, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like, from what you're telling me, that you have married your father. And she was like, wow, sometimes I think I do because, her father wasn't available or connected to her like Scotty is. I was like, first of all, how are you comparing your father, who was an absentee father, drug addict, to your husband who was actively working and actively involved within the family or whatever? I'm like, I don't get it. And for her to say, well, because Scott is not available or connected how her father was. At the end of the day, Contessa is her father. She did not marry her father. She became her father, just in a different way. The therapist said, because when Contessa said, like, I think Scott could be my dad, even though he don't do drugs. The therapist then said, yeah, but everyone has their vices to things that take them away from stuff. I'm like, that's Contessa. Contessa, girl, look, boom. Contessa is her father. Contessa consistently does things that takes her away from her family or brings her back in when she wants to be, okay? When the first she's on here, when she's like, I want to quit my job to be home more. And she then quit her job or whatever, and then she got tired of that. She then went back to work. After that, she then went to leave the family and go to school. So Contessa consistently does things that changes her family dynamic to where she isn't there for one reason or the other. Contessa is her father. Contessa is continually looking for things to fulfill her, like drugs, like work, like school. Okay, her father was on drugs. She's in school. She is the working. That's what her father's point. That's how she is her father. Contessa did not marry her father. She is him. Okay. And the therapist then tell her that she needs to give herself grace. Um, so that she can see and feel her husband in her life. I was like, no, Contessa needs to know that she's her damn daddy, okay? She is the pappy. Anyway, we still listening with Anila Nyla and her daughter, her little nanny slash chef slash photographer slash assistant, told her how her daughter mentioned that she wanted white skin, blonde hair, and blue eyes. Because again, that's probably what she sees around her. Which made Anila Nyla ask the little girl, why would you want to be, with white skin, blonde hair, and blue eyes? And she said, well, because that's how everyone else looks. And I like that she told her daughter how beautiful she was, how, she should love her brown skin, her, dark hair, and her brown eyes, because again, that's what makes her who she is. And she brings up how it was hard for her growing up too, and blah, 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 blah. She poured into her daughter to let her daughter know how beautiful her skin is and all that. I feel like it's hard when you are raised around a lot of Caucasian people because that is what you see. And at times you don't like being the one who looks different. So I completely get that. Another part of that is usually when you are the only, family around who looks how you look. Meaning for black kids. You know, black kids who go to an all white school, but they have a lot of black family, sometimes it doesn't matter because the white people you see in school does not overpower you to think like, oh, I should be like them because you are still raised around your own race. I think it could be different for her daughter because if there are not many other people who look like her in school, and if their family is the only family she knows in the area who, looks like her, it's easier for her to feel as if she looks different and not that she's fine for who she is, but she doesn't see herself often enough in the people around her. Um, so it was really cute for her to say how beautiful her skin was, her hair was, and her eye color is. So it's kind of cute. But again, she just, told her daughter, hey, it's okay. You're beautiful. You're great. And you do not have to want to be white because your skin, your hair, and your eye color is beautiful too. Amen. Okay. Lisa Nicole and this whole town hall meeting at her house. The people start to come and whatnot. I don't have many pictures from this because I just don't. But Lisa Nicole, Anila got there first, and then Simone. Honey, when Simone got there, Simone had an attitude because she was already irritated that Lisa Nicole was having this get together as if she did it all, okay? And when she got there, and Anila and Lisa Nicole said how she looked like she was like sad. It's like sad. Is it sad or do I look irritated? Okay, I think I look irritated. It ain't sad or whatever. And so she explains what's wrong with her. Did you talk to anyone about the whole town hall meeting, Nicole? I mean, Lisa Nicole, like you requested people to come here and even sent the letter, but you only had your name on it. And she sent this to people, just asking them to come to this meeting or whatever, how it'll be filmed for Bravo, blah, 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 blah. Well, not only for Bravo, and she, it'll be hosted by the cast of Bravo TV, Married to Medicine, whatever. But she said all of that, but she only had her name on it. Lisa Nicole is not even a cast member. She's a friend of. Okay, so for her to send letters out to people asking them to participate in a town hall meeting for the show that she isn't really even on like that and not have anyone else on the show on it is what pissed Simone off. It would have pissed me off too, but I feel like Lisa Nicole was trying her damnedest to get on the show as a full-time cast member, and it did not work. She was not even invited to the reunion. Okay, but I mean, girl, bye. But she also told her how you should not move like that. Like you should move as a team and not like, it's some kind of selfish individual move to make yourself stand out when we all were going to do this together. And so at least I get it. Okay, I get it. So at least she got what it was. Okay. So we then see everyone else get there, whatever. Now Heavenly got there. And when Lisa Nicole went in for a hug, Honey, she went in for a hug, and as you see from this photo, from the thumbnail picture, Lisa Nicole hugged her and then used measuring tape to measure Heavenly's waist. And if Heavenly had pushed her down on the ground that the tray table was, I would not have been mad. Bitch, don't try me. Okay? And this is the start of her bullshit. I mean, Lisa Nicole's. Do we know? Does Heavenly say crazy stuff? Yes. Can Heavenly be rude? Yes. But you don't greet, because Heavenly had just walked in the door. She had just walked in the door. The fact that Lisa Nicole had measuring tape. Look, I have measuring tape in my house too. I have no idea where that shit is. How did you have measuring tape readily available to measure Heavenly's hips when she walked in your house? And Heavenly said, I'm not for your bullshit, Lisa, leave me alone or whatever. I'm here for the whole voting thing and whatnot, okay? And I was like, girl, bye. So they all get into the dining room or whatever, sitting around. I don't have a picture of Lisa Nicole because she doesn't really matter. Anyway, they talking and chit chatting or whatever, and Lisa brings up how her and Simone is working on this whole thing or whatever. And no, 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 no. Lisa's just you, it's not me too, because again, you put your name on stuff, not mine too. So don't try to include me on what you doing. Okay, is you sent out the little letter? Boom, that's your name, not my name or whatever. Honey, when Lisa Nicole then said that she had reached out to Oprah, I said, bitch, Oprah Winfrey? Because I don't think there's any other Oprah to Oprah Winfrey. You reached out to Oprah Winfrey? Girls, I reached out to Oprah to participate. I also, had talked to the girl to Charlamagne the God and Anthony Wright, who both said yes. And they was like, girl, if you bring it over, I'm gonna bring Beyonce. I'm gonna bring other, girl, you did not book Oprah. Carrie, hello, Carrie. When I worked with Mariah Carey, I'm like, Mariah Carey, shut up. Okay, hush, be quiet. But she meant like people would sometimes say they work with someone to get other people, involved in whatever they have going on. So they was all laughing about that. Anyway, Lisa admits that she took the idea and ran with it or whatever, and how Simone was right. Okay, fine, fine, fine. You got it. You got it. She then says she has a gift for somebody. Picks up a Chanel bag. Like, can y'all guess who this gift was for? And they was like, no, is it for me? Because it's just a Chanel bag. Heavily then said, no, it ain't for me. Start laughing. She's like, well, someone texted me. It was Heavenly, and she sent me a text, a photo of me on my horse. It comes back to Anila child's party, where technically Lisa Nicole was calling Heavenly fat first. Heavenly then retaliated and called her fat too. But again, she's like, she texted me a picture of me on a horse, and then so I got her a gift. The fact that you are bringing any of this up at a meeting about registering people and making it more known for you to vote, Lisa Nicole is desperate to be back on this show. Point blank. Period. And have I'm not for this bullshit or whatever. That was a joke. The text I sent you before or whatever. Leave me be. I don't care. Okay, I'm not coming here for that. I came here for the whole voting thing, whatever. Lisa Nicole and say, well, I just want to know if you are really 150 pounds. I'm like, bitch, what? Really? So Heavy leaves out. She's pissed. It's some bullshit. So the fact that the bitch had a scale in the Chanel, she was, girl, Heavily had already left. But the fact that Lisa Cole put a scale in a Chanel bag to give the gift to Heavily at a party about registering people to vote, to me shows, one, she lame as fuck, and two, she need a check. That's fat shaming. And the reason I said is because you called her fat first. You and Carrie teased Heavenly about being on that horse. Any text that y'all went back and forth on, bitch, doesn't matter now. And for you to want measure her when she walked in your house and had a scale ready to weigh her is stupid, okay? It's dumb. It's petty. Only because Heavenly didn't start the shit. She just finished it. Okay, you called her fat, she called you fat back. It's done. Done, done, done. Who cares what any one of y'all weigh? I was just done. It was stupid and petty, and that's my opinion. So Contessa and Simone go out to Heavenly outside. Like, don't leave, come back inside, whatever. If it was a joke, Fine. At least don't end on a bad note. Come in, at least say bye. Thanks for inviting me. I'm leaving. So on the inside, okay, while they outside, on the inside of the thing or whatever, you see Heavenly always saying shit. That's Toya. And Jackie, you be the one that allows Heavenly to talk shit. I say, wait, now it's Toya versus Jackie? How did this happen? Toya, mind your business, okay? And I'm like, how are y'all blaming Jackie for some shit Heavenly did that she haven't done this time? Least Nicole started this shit, not Heavenly. So why are you upset with Jackie, girl? I'm like, Toya, are you that bored? Are you really that bored? And Jackie, Toya, change the tone. I'm saying you can't convince me to think like you, And when she said, "Well, you need to stand up for the right thing for us," I'm like, Toya, what do you mean? It was just stupid, okay? And Jackie said, "Girl, until you get yourself in order, just leave me alone. Okay, just leave me alone. I ain't got time. Leave me alone." So then Heavenly comes back in. Okay, when she comes back in to sit down, because again, someone contestant convinced her to come back, Toya then say to her, Heavenly, no, Toya then says to Jackie, okay, your pit is back. And she's like, who the fuck is a pit? Everybody, am I the fucking pit? Am I the pit? Who the fuck is a pit? Me? And then she said, well, yeah, because Jackie, you can now talk because your pit is back. I'm looking like you, like a pit bull dog. I was like, see, Toya on that bullshit. And Jackie, Heavenly, no. Jackie said to Toya, your anger this year is just not attractive. I don't like it. It's on some bullshit. Leave me be. Let's go to the bathroom. What the fuck is wrong with you? Toya tell Jackie in the bathroom, I've known Heavenly the longest, and because I've known her the longest, she did not become mean to me until she was on this show. And now we not how we used to be, whatever. And it hurts me that she laughs at me and that she, does. I want Heavenly to own her bullshit. I'm like, Toya, grow the fuck up. Okay? The fact that you up here fussing with Jackie. Okay, you up here fussing with Jackie because you mad that Heavenly is not nice to you. I don't get it. And that's how I went off. I was like, this show is confusing. Okay? Why you fussing with Jackie about Heavenly? You can't blame Jackie. No one can blame Heavenly for anything except Heavenly. Okay, no one can control Heavenly except Heavenly. And if you've known her longer than anyone there, why are you talking to Jackie and not Heavenly? If she's hurt you, talk to Heavenly. I was like, I'm just outdone. Anyway, that was the whole episode. I hope y'all enjoyed. I will talk to y'all later tomorrow or today because it's 2 a.m. And I'll be on camera tomorrow. But I will talk to y'all tomorrow for the things. Bye-bye.